Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the Friday date night outlook for air signs. All right, so this is going to be for Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, and this is just a snapshot into your date night for Friday. It's a new kind of reading that I am doing. This is the first Friday that I've done it, and all of the other elements are up. So the fire signs are up, the water signs, and the earth signs are up, and now we're just finishing off with you guys. I do apologize for it being a little bit later. I'm sure most of you are actually out for the evening. Nevertheless, we'll see how this turns out. If you like this video, if you like this subject matter, you like the style of it, let me know and I will continue to do it. But for right now, this is just going to be an outlook. We're going to pull a romance angel card for each of the signs, and then we'll pull an animal spirit to see what animal spirit you may or may not be resonating with. And then we're going to do a quick forecast for each of you. Now, ooh, Gemini, you have deception. All right, and Libra, you have give your relationship a chance, and Aquarius, you have religious factors. Wow, so Aquarius, that religious factors came out just now for Capricorn also. And I just say that it's interesting. We'll get into it. I won't know exactly what this all means until we get into your spread, but let's pull out your animal. Now, your animal spirits are going to indicate what you're resonating with tonight. Can help to see if you're going to be going out as part of a group or what the nature of the event might be like. We'll see all of that with the animal spirit that you may be coming into the night with. It's going to give us a little bit more clarity on what's going on with these romance angel messages as well. And we're going to pull one for each of you also. So Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So Gemini, you are resonating with the dragon. Interesting. The dragon's eye is always open, associated with the third chakra or the solar plexus. Libra, you're associated with swan energy, talking about refined and strong, powerful beauty. And fireflies, inspirational, coming in with religious factors, and air energy. Swan, of course, is water energy. All right, let's get into it. Gemini, deception. So, interesting evening tonight. Date night's going to be interesting, right? We have deception. Somebody's wearing a false mask in this relationship, right? So somebody's not being 100% honest with you. And the dragon is there. So the dragon is really synonymous with the third chakra, the solar plexus, and the dragon talks about keeping an eye on making, the dragon's ever watchful, and he's like your inner voice. Right? Your inner voice to let you know, are you really doing what you want? Are you really following the right path? Are you being true to yourself? Are you being honest with yourself? So deception could be self-deception, or it could be deception coming into you, and the way you handle it could be resonating with this dragon energy, in the sense that if you find out that somebody's deceived you or been lying to you about something, or perhaps the way the date turns out is quite toxic, the dragon talks about, you standing up for yourself, right? And you following your own sort of moral code, not putting up with anything or not compromising who you are. Don't allow anyone to drag you down to their level. We'll get more about this once we have your spread. Then we have Libra. Libra, give your relationship a chance, and Swan. But Swan energy is really beautiful. Swan is water element, and swans are associated with the Hindu god Saraswati, I think is how you pronounce it. My Hindu friends will have to help me. Saraswati, and she is, of course, the embodiment of refined beauty. Swan energy is associated with those who may go off and do painting. They may have some artistic skill. They may be writing songs, or they may be writing poems or something. It's a very strong energy of healing through creativity, right? So whatever you're doing, also, it's healing you. Whatever creative activity you're doing is a very healing activity, and it's a really refined activity. I'm going to say some of you may be on a very romantic date tonight. You may be going to see something like the ballet or a play, or you may, you're going to be on And it says, give your relationship a chance. You could be on a date with somebody that you normally would not want to go on a date with, but it's really nice night. It's a nice event. The date is really, really well thought out. It's very beautiful. It's meant to really sort of like be a sort of refined date. You know what I'm saying? It feels very, very nice. Now, religious factors come in for Aquarius, and you have Firefly. And Firefly is very inspirational. And it is air sign. So for some of you, I think Aquarius, some of you may indeed be going on a date where you both are very inspired. Again, you may be at an event with someone, with friends, or with an actual date where there's a lot of artistic inspiration coming in. You may have an evening tonight that really kind of opens your eyes to something new. It could be very, very creative. It could be a date on, you guys could be going someplace, Aquarius, that you've never really been before. You never thought you would enjoy, right? It may be at odds with what you're used to, your cultural background, right? Because religious factors is also sort of your spiritual, religious, and also cultural background, really, in this sense. And so, it could be you're doing something tonight that is very, very different, but it's very inspirational, and you kind of have this epiphany like, wow, I really enjoy doing this, right? And it could be just a different way of dating or a different type of event that you're on. All right, guys, so let's check out your 3 forecasts. Now, we're going to do the first one will be Gemini. Then, of course, we'll get into Libra, and then we'll get into Aquarius. So we're going to pull out 3 cards for each. And they're going to be the energy you're coming into the evening, the date with, the event, excuse me, and the energy that's meeting you and how it all turns out. All right, now, we know this reading can't be for all Geminis, so just take what applies to you and let the rest go, okay? Ooh, cards are jumpy. That deceptive energy there is really strong with that dragon. Whew. All right, and the dragon, of course, is associated with the alchemical symbol for ether or spirit, right? It is a chakra energy. We upside down? We're upside down. Okay, you come in with Hermit. Ooh. 7 of Cups and Justice. Okay. Well, you start the evening off. I'm going to say you come in with Hermit energy. And you come in with Hermit energy in the sense that you are very sort of reposed, right? I think this will be a date that, this will be a first date in a long time. You're coming into this evening after a period of not having gone out or socialized much at all. The Hermit, is solitary. It's Virgo energy, Gemini, and it's just a feeling of, you have been really doing a lot of solitary work, a lot of shadow work probably, and just like you haven't been out and about and social. So this is a really kind of big evening in the sense that it's probably the first time you've been out. And the dragon seems to be there in the sense that you're very aware. You're hyper aware. I think that this is probably after a period, Gemini, where you've done a lot of shadow work and soul work on yourself. You've really healed yourself a lot. And so your dragon is wide open. Your dragon's eye is wide open in the sense that you're very aware of any kind of toxicity coming in because you've done all of that really hard work that the Hermit does within himself, right? And so you're aware and you're not as easily pulled into certain situations as you normally would be because your dragon eye is open, always making sure that you are on your right path and not being pulled into situations that are psychically or spiritually unhealthy for you. You're met with a 7 of Cups, and that is kind of pie in the sky thinking. 7 of Cups is all about daydreaming too much, having unrealistic expectations, right? And, I see deception on the board, and it's interesting because I'm going to say, Gemini, this could go 2 ways, right? And I'm going to tell you, this is the energy that meets you tonight, the outside energy coming into you, and I'm going to go this way with it, in the sense that it's not you who's having unrealistic expectation. It's somebody trying to sell you a dream. And I feel like that's where the deception is coming from. All right. I don't feel like this is self-deception. I don't feel like this is a case of you you know, being honest with yourself or something like this at all. I just don't feel that. The dragon eye is open. When the dragon eye is open and you're certainly coming out of a period of spiritual work, it will be, you know, I just don't feel that that is where your energy is at. What I do feel, though, is that whoever you're going out with tonight is somebody who's going to really have the gift of gab. They're going to try to really sell you a nice type of story, and I think you just see right through them. You know, I just think your dragon eye is so far open that it's so wide open that you just see right through them, and you end the evening with balance in the sense that you're just kind of like, you know, I'm still balanced. I'm still you know what I mean? Like, you've done so much work on yourself, Gemini, and you're so spiritually strong and mature that you're not coming away from this, you know, thinking all night long about all the crazy omen and superstitious bullshit. You're not coming away from this wanting to sort of see, like, how far can this toxic relationship go? You're not coming away from this, like, you know, oh, well, they were still really good looking. Maybe they're still my soulmate, even though all night long they made me sick with their weird behavior. Like, you're not walking away from this with any kind of weird dysfunctional attachment, you know, that people have nowadays. A lot of people have so many weird dysfunctional attachments to people. The second they meet somebody, it's like they have all this superstition that they associate with everything. And it's like before you before you realize it, they make all of these connections that are just not real, right? But you're not falling for that, Gemini, because you've done actual real spiritual work and you're mature about it. You're not egoistic about it. You're not, you know what I mean? It's not a show for you, or it's not any of that. And so you walk away from this just kind of very even and balanced in the sense that you know who they are, you know what they're all about, you know that you don't want it, and you just walk away. Right? You just walk away, but you don't walk away angry, and you don't walk away hurt, or you don't walk away in any way sort of off your square. Justice is, of course, Libra energy, Gemini. So you walk away with your sister energy coming through. Very interesting reading. I feel this is for Gemini out there who's extremely spiritually mature and emotionally mature, and not without having done a lot of work. This does not come in easily. Emotional spiritual maturity comes in through a lot of soul searching and work that you do on yourself, but that is the nature of the hermit. All right, but in any case, it's very nice indeed. All right, guys, let's get right into Libra energy next. It's nice to see you showing up for your sister Gemini. However, let's see what Libra's going through. Very nice energy with that swan. Libra, you come out with a 6 of Pentacles, interesting, a 3 of Cups, and a 10 of Pentacles, and that's exactly what I feel like. Remember earlier I said a refined beauty, maybe the theater or something like this. 6 of Pentacles also talks about charity, talks about being generous. This is going to be a really nice evening of you being swept off your feet. I think you guys are going to be taken out on a date, and in this way that you are... Somebody's really going to try to really impress you, right? And speak to your sense of beauty and aesthetic. They're going to be very sort of refined about it, artistic about it. It's going to be a very artistic date. It's going to feel very generous in a lot of ways because, of course, there's a lot of money and effort that was put into it. And... you know, you come into it with the 6 of Pentacles, so you're really giving it a chance. You're really being open about it. It's interesting because 6 of Pentacles is about money issues. It's about being very, very charitable with people in terms of money. And I think in a lot of ways can also be that you may be going on a date with someone who, although they don't have a whole lot of money necessarily, or they may not be super, super rich, it's the creativity that they've really put into that, and you're really appreciating it. You know, you're met with a 3 of Cups, so there's a sense of charity involved, and there's also a sense of celebration. Some of you may indeed be at a charity event, right? You may have chosen the event, Libra. You may have come in because you're coming in with 6 of Pentacles. Quite interesting. Could very well be that you said, somebody asked you out on a date and you said, okay, yeah, you want to go on a date? I want to go to this charitable event or this fundraiser. That's where I want to go. Right? And it's something that's altruistic like that, but it's also creative and beautiful, but it's altruistic because Swan talks about strong, powerful beauty too. And so in a sense, I feel like that also. And so you come in with this feeling of wanting to see how generous are they, you know, because this is what you're wanting to do. And you are matched with this Three of Cups of celebration and coming together and bonding and loyalty. It turns out to be a very, very nice match for you. This person really comes through the way you want them to come through. And you round the night off with a Ten of Pentacles in the sense that it all works out very nicely, you know, if you are going to a charitable event or something like that, that is like, you know, a community type of event, your date or your person that you're with is going to really be sort of like generous and really show that they have the whole package. Ten of Pentacles talks about being wealthy in all areas. So not only do they have the financial stability, but they're going to show you that there's the emotional stability and wealth there with them and a spiritual one as well. Like this turns out to be a very, very nice date, especially if you're giving someone a chance who you maybe have made a judgment about, depending on where they're coming from. You may have judged them because they do come from money. And you're realizing that, in fact, yes, they come from money, but there's more there to them. It's very interesting. Very interesting evening. I think it's going to be a pleasant surprise. And I think for a lot of you, Libras, you're going to feel very much like, wow, you know, I'm glad I gave this a chance. I'm glad I gave this person a chance because I think they're going to come out to show you that they really do have the whole package for you and they have exactly what they need for you to sort of be happy with them. Even though perhaps this may have been a bit of a testing period as well for you in the sense of, let me see what you're really made out of. And they really come through with flying colors in that way. All right, now we're going to do my lovely Aquarius and then we're going to round it off. That'll be the last one. Aquarius, you come in with King of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, and Nine of Swords. So interesting. You do have religious factors in Firefly. And like I said, some of you may be going, to something that is very, very different than what you're used to. So you come into the evening with King of Pentacles. You're really residing from a very materialistic background. Not in a bad way, all right? Aquarius, it's just that you're very formal. You know, you come from a very formal background in a sense. You're maybe a businesswoman or a businessman, and you're just not one of these people who have necessarily gone to a lot of like spiritual events or, you know, events that are, you know, tied to esoteric or spirituality or something like that. You know, even if you went, for instance, once I went to St. John's Cathedral in New York to see the Tibetan monks chanting, and there was a music event, you know, you would consider that kind of, you know, it's an event. It can be a date, but it's a spiritual event. And so in this way, what I'm saying is that this was I was saying before, some of you may be going someplace that you're not used to going and you have this epiphany. And this is really what it feels like. King of Pentacles is very businesslike and matter of fact and practical and about money and things like that. But I think that you're going on a date and you're met with an Ace of Swords in a sense that Ace of Swords is very much Firefly in a sense that, you know, a whole new idea comes in. You know, you're met with a whole new idea. This event is going to be very different for you. And it's going to really open your eyes to a lot of things, you know. It's going to open your eyes to a whole new sort of side of yourself, perhaps that you didn't realize that you was there. Interestingly enough, though, you do end the night off as a Nine of Swords, and I think that's a little anxiety that you have. It could be that, excuse me, it could be that you end the night off with Nine of Swords because you feel a little bit like, perhaps like, you know, how did you feel a little regret maybe for the way you were on the date. It could be that you're feeling a little bit kind of strange because Nine of Swords is regret and anxiety, and something about this evening is causing you anxiety. It could very well be that the event you went to is something that perhaps your other friends or your family wouldn't agree with, and you're feeling a little bit of guilt or anxiety about that. Remember, like I said, this is going to be something very, very new for you that you've never really done before, and it could very well be that you have other ties in your life that are going to make you kind of feel guilty about doing this. You know, for some reason, it could very well be that you are going to an event that is against perhaps, or from a religion that is kind of warring with your cultural background, and maybe you feel like your family or your culture won't understand why you went, but of course you're going because you're on a date and you're trying to be, you know, progressive, you know, whatever the case may be. There is a little bit of guilt and sort of regret associated with this date, but I'm going to say Nine of Swords is really no kind of reality card. It's just more anxiety that we put on ourselves. This is a nice feeling here. You enjoyed yourself, and so don't feel guilty about it later. You know, whatever the case may be, don't feel guilty about this later. You know, whatever this religious or cultural background is that's kind of at odds with what you're doing here, this guilt later on, you know, just try to let go of it. Because if you enjoyed yourself and if it was a new experience and you really got something so strong out of it, like Ace of Swords feeling, with firefly energy that is so inspirational, you know, it's like, wow, you would have never had this inspiration or this epiphany or this idea come in had you not gone on this date, right? And so for you, it's very, very enriching, but whatever your religious ties or connections are, that side is really, really sort of causing you the anxiety. And of course, you'll have to deal with that and release that. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it. This is your reading for Friday night, November 15th. This is just a Friday night, date night snapshot of what some of you may be going through for Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. I hope you liked this reading. If you did, please hit the like. Go ahead and make a comment below. Let me know what you're going through or how much this resonated with you. And so tomorrow, guys, we are going to get right into it with the weeklies. So don't forget, all the weeklies will be premiering tomorrow, back to back to back to back. And I'm going to begin working on them right after I am done with this video. But for right now, my lovely air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, have a wonderful Friday night date night. Bye-bye now.